What's up, YouTube fans? Today we're going to be unboxing and reviewing the ThreeZero MDLX Optimus Prime. So this I bought from the Chosen Prime, thanks to sending this out. And I was kind of excited about MDLX because ThreeZero is such a good company. I really like a lot of the stuff they make. I've had really good luck with the DLX stuff. Really high quality, so I said, let me take a look at this. I did look at the MDLX Bumblebee, really liked that. Decided to buy this one for myself. So here's the packaging, kind of cool. It's got some artwork here. Here's the side. Here's the back. It shows him in these poses. I think this is the toy. So not artwork, but you got some write-ups there, and then here's another product shot there, / artwork. Pretty simple. It does have a window box, but then they put him in this plastic wrapping, so you can't really see it anyway. It wasn't taped shut, at least my copy wasn't anyway. You do get instruction manual here. Relatively simple, it just shows you what it comes with. It shows you the removable chest. Looks like it shows you something about the arms, the movement, the leg movement. So pretty simple. And then you get, what is this? Product warranty? Yeah, I guess you get a warranty sheet. Alright, so we'll get that out of here. And it looks like you get 2 trays. So you get these accessories, which we are going to remove from here. And then here's the figure. Let's get this open. So you get a bunch more hands. You get 6 of these, 3 pairs of these hands. So we'll take a look at all that. Let's get the figure out of here. It looks like it's wrapped in plastic to protect the paint. ThreeZero is good about their protection of their plastic wrapping here. So here he is. First impressions, it looks pretty cool. I was kind of worried about whether I would like the look of this guy because he's kind of stylized. He's not really a G1 Prime. And I'm very G1 type of collector. But looking at him, he's really cool looking. I just kind of like the way they've sculpted him. The head is a little bit unique there, but I do like that. Got the blue eyes. All the typical cues that you would see. It looks like it's 100% painted all throughout. So everything you see, all the red, silver, yellow, blue, and gunmetal paint is all painted. You do have, it says ThreeZero down here on the foot and Hasbro over here, 2022. So I guess there's his branding, marking. Alright, so let's start off by taking a look at the accessories. So first off, you get this backpack piece here. It is painted very nicely. Got that gunmetal, red, silver, and some wash in there. It's not just a straight red. You can see some details. Come to the back here. It just plugs right in. Very simply. Now, you could probably just leave it there if you wanted to. That's at least what I'm going to be doing, but it's really your option on that. Pretty nice looking backpack, though. You will also get his matrix, which we're just going to get in there because what's Optimus will have this matrix. So you go ahead and pull this chest plate off. It's got 3 magnets, 1, 2, 3, and those are tabbing in right here. We'll take the matrix here, and that's just going to fit right in here. See, does it go a particular way? It looks like it fits in that way. So that's what it looks like in there. And then you can close up the chest around it. It just magnetizes right back on. Kind of a cool little effect there. It is tinted windows, so you can't really see through what's underneath. And there you have the matrix holding hands with the kind of 2 fingers pulled together. I guess you could put the gun in there, but it makes more sense to take the matrix out and get into his fingers. And then he can hold this between the 2 fingers and hold it up or do whatever you need to do. Obviously put the chest back on. But there you go. He can be opening up the matrix. And you can get into a better pose than I have him here, holding that matrix, but that's a cool little thought that they included that so you can have that scene kind of set up. You do get this gun here, nicely detailed and painted. It's got a nice wash on it. This can be held by either the gripping hand here or the trigger finger. I'm going to put it in the trigger finger hand because that just makes more sense to me. If you get this in here, you can get the finger around the trigger. And then this is just on a ball joint. So if you pop this off, you'll see there's a ball joint underneath. Very similar to the MDLX Bumblebee that we already looked at. These can be very tight, so it can be kind of an irritation to get these on here. So you got to hold this pretty firmly. And I recommend wiggling. So not just pushing, but wiggling it on. And there you go. There's his gun. Pretty good looking. It's a very large gun. I don't know. It kind of feels maybe even too big. But you can take the other hand off. So it is with the open expressive hand. It is kind of a weird shape. I guess you could use it as a gun holding hand. It's going to be a little awkward, but you could get it on there to hold. So there it is with the two-finger pointing hand. Not too bad. It is kind of hard to get these hands on, so that's why I'm doing it off camera, but you can get it on there. You just need to give it a good grip and use the rotation method. And the last hand we have here is the non-trigger finger gripping hand. And that, of course, is meant for the axe here. So I'll just take a quick look at the axe. You have a sharp point here, but nice gunmetal. It's got a wash on it. The translucent orange looks really good. I don't think they did a fading on it, but either way, that's a nice looking axe. And that will fit into his palm here. Now, it's a little tricky to get this in. I thought maybe the top or bottom of this would pop off, and it doesn't. So you do have to squeeze it in here. There you go. There he is with the axe. It's a good looking axe. And depending where you put it in the hand, if you put it up high, it can be a little loose. But if you put it right up, butt it up against that, it holds it a lot better. All right, now let's go over his articulation. Of course, that is the main event here for this guy. He does have quite a bit of stuff going on. So the head, the neck itself is on a ball joint, it looks like. So it goes side to side, back and forth. The head itself is on a ball joint. So you can get that up to there and down to there. So combined together, you can get the head down and up pretty far using both of those. If you twist it too far, you can pop the head off that ball joint. So I'll just show you. The rotation is up to there and up to there, including the neck. If you keep going too far, you can pop it off that ball joint. Although now, I guess now it seems to be working fine. So maybe it need to be worn in. But now it seems to be rotating pretty well. So you can get pretty much any movement you want on that head. The shoulders are on a ball joint, so you get this movement for butterfly. The entire shoulder is also on a butterfly. So this piece here, this metal piece, or not metal, but metallic looking piece here, does rotate in and out. So you basically have a double butterfly joint. So that allows you to get really far in and back due to that. These pieces are on a ball peg as well, so that goes up and down. If you rotate the shoulder, it will move the shoulder piece out of the way. It'll get all the way up to there. If you rotate it back down without bending at that joint, it ends up down like that. So you just have to basically make sure you get that shoulder back down. So what you do is hold here and rotate here, then push this back down. So that works very well. Your rotation at the bicep. You have a double jointed elbow. This piece is loose, so as you rotate, that moves into place here. I don't know, it doesn't really do much, in my opinion. If you lift up his arm, it does slide back down and kind of cover down on the elbow. But I understand why they did it. It's just not that effective, but the double joint really works well. Very good. Nice detail here on the arm. Got the yellow arrow here with all that wash detail. All the paint is exceptional on this. For the hands, I did put back the fisted hands, but they're on a ball joint, so it gets in and out. This is a double ball peg, so on the inside it can move as well. But due to the way it's sculpted, it is a little bit limited in going up and down, but it does have that movement. And then in and out and rotates all the way around. For the waist, you have a rotation down here at that bottom waist. You also have a ab crunch here, right underneath his chest plate. So you can get it down to there. And if you look at the back, he is exposing these kind of inner workings. We've seen that before from ThreeZero. They like to do that kind of detail work. I'll just take this off so you can see. Get that nice spine detail there. That looks good. And then you get a side to side on that joint as well, and a side to side down on the lower one too. So you can get some good movement out of that abs because of all those joints there. All right, coming down to the waist, these are a little strange, but you have hip skirts here, which are normal. They're just on a ball peg. But then these rear hip skirts are on a very thin and tiny ball peg. And then these are attached to the rear hip skirt. So the way it works is just a little strange, and I don't really like it that much. You do have drop-down joints on these hips. So these are also on double ball pegs, barbell pegs, so you can get the leg down further. So if you bring it all the way down, you can get it up. You just got to make sure you move this out of the way so it doesn't get knocked off the ball peg there. But plenty of articulation there. You have a rotation at the thigh around that universal. It really works. It rotates all the way around. And then, like I mentioned, you can rotate this up and down to hide that joint. And for different poses, you can have it down so you have a little bit longer of a thigh, which is nice. You have a double jointed knee. There is a panel here. So if you rotate at just the lower knee, it ends up pushing in that panel, and the leg can go up to there. You also have a joint up here, but it doesn't really get you anything, but I guess it's cool to have it because you can have that more consistent humanoid movement, but you don't need it because you have this joint here that gets all the way down, but I guess it ends up with a long knee. So I guess I see why they did that. I really only need these two joints though. Continuing down, you have this joint here, or this panel here. It's on a ball peg. It's kind of limited in its movement. You can get it up to there, down to there. You can rotate it with the foot as you're moving the foot, but the foot articulation becomes limited because of that. It's a kind of a strange decision. Now on the side and back, you've got these panels that can move out of the way, and they will get out of the way so that you can get it all the way back to the side, as much as you need it to. But this front panel just seems to be very limiting. I just don't like the way it is. So you could pop this off the ball peg. So that's just on a ball peg right there. And now you can get the foot all the way up without any limitation. Right? You can get that toe all the way up and the foot all the way up. So I'm not really sure, what was the purpose of that. In fact, you could probably just display it like this without that piece there, and it still looks good. There's a lot of nice sculpted detail and joints and paintwork under there. So I really don't know why they included this. It's just kind of a strange decision. Anyway, the foot is on a double ball peg system, so you can move it forward, you can slide it back, you have side to side, back and forth, the toe can tilt, and you can get it rotated on that double ball peg as well. And for size comparison, there is the MDLX Optimus Prime next to the MP44 Optimus, the Netflix Earthrise Optimus, and then the New Age Optimus. He actually ends up being basically the same size as the Earthrise or Voyager scale. He fits right in. So I guess you could use it there, but he is very stylized, so you're not really going to put it with any collection. It's kind of its own thing. But if you had to, you could fit in with mainline. So final thoughts on the ThreeZero MDLX Optimus Prime. Let's start with the positives. I think the paint and sculpt look awesome. ThreeZero never fails to impress when it comes to those things, so that's not too much of a surprise. But at this smaller scale, they just continued with that success they've had with the larger DLX scale. So that's a good thing. They also have pretty good accessories as usual. The gun and the axe and the alternate hands, they all look good and they're sculpted and painted well. The Matrix as well, although I was expecting die-cast, it works just fine and it looks good. So no problems there. I also think, of course, the articulation is really well done. Again, ThreeZero never fails to impress in that area, and this is no different. You got plenty of articulation all throughout. But negatives-wise, there's a couple of things that are a little bit irritating. Number one is getting these hands on, although they do have nice articulation, getting them on the ball joint. It's kind of irritating, and I had to actually cut out quite a bit of footage from this, was me struggling to get those hands on. The other thing is that these, and by the way, I have this on a Hasbro Pulse stand here, so it wasn't meant for this figure, but it works just fine. These hip skirts and these, I guess, foot armor or whatever, foot guards, they do get in the way, and they actually limit articulation. At least here they do. They limit how far you can put the foot upwards, and I don't find any use for them. So I might even try to see, kind of take that panel and the armature it's on off completely, and just have them without it, because there's plenty of detail underneath. You don't need that panel. These hip skirts are also a little bit limiting. You can get them out of the way. It's just a little awkward the way they're designed. You have to get them moved in the correct direction. So those aren't as bad, but they are a little bit on the irritating side as well. But that's really it for negatives. I really like this thing. I do recommend it. At the price point they're selling it for $80. This is kind of a fun figure and a more affordable figure for more fans. So I'm glad that ThreeZero has started this line, because a lot of their bigger figures at the 200 or even 300 price range is kind of out of range for most people. But this definitely could. Now, it's not available in retail stores. I got this from the Chosen Prime. You can get it from other online retailers like that. I do recommend it. So if you're looking for a fun Optimus Prime action figure, I would recommend this. So that's it for today. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.